Houses, cars, fame, money, reputation can all be a big game. It's not yours, it's all his. Now open your closed mind, let go of your tight grip, surrender the battle for control that wages within. Where and how certainly matter. Our heart is what God is after. Fear and the unknown create confusion. We are dependent by design, that's how it's meant to be. When we choose one master, the truth sets us free. God is the one true master. In partnership with our creator, no longer hedging our bets, but investing in forever. Declaring what we are for, not just pursuing more. His kingdom come. Restoring beauty in the broken, fueling the flourishing, believing in abundance. Cheerful givers who are joyfully generous. A singular goal and a powerful stance. His will be done. Innovators and investors creating capacity together, not waiting but refining to the ends of the earth until one day we experience the divine on earth as it is in heaven. All from one pocket. Every investment has an impact. With all of our lives, we come to embrace the fact it's all his.
As investors, we deal with money every day. We crunch the numbers, we pursue the deals, and we look for a good return on it all. And the old adage used to be, I'm gonna make as much money as I possibly can in one hand and then give away as much as I can with the other. God looks at it as it all being his. The compartmentalization we've placed on it is often a set of practices, organization, and planning we've come up with over the years, but too much time spent on the methods often loses sight of the bigger issue. It's all his. And that means we as faith-driven investors can stop dividing where we allocate capital and start multiplying the impact we have on the marketplace and the world. Bryce Butler knows much about one-pocket investing. Before he founded Access Ventures, Bryce was the executive director of the Blue Sky Network, a venture philanthropy family office in southern Indiana with activities all around the world in microfinance, clean energy, sustainable agriculture, mobile payments, and entrepreneurship and innovation. Let's watch.
One-pocket investing operates with the understanding that organizations and individuals don't have to compromise their missions and values to achieve financial return objectives. This is neither a new or niche idea. Under various labels, it's emerged in the mid-1980s and now influences organizations like the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative, not to mention a growing number of capital and wealth specialists like the Caprock Group. Why perhaps have you never heard of One Pocket? Because it lacks a clear language and narrative describing what it is and what it's not. What the Gates Foundation may call a philanthropic venture, the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative will call concessionary funding, and Varus Wealth might call value-driven investing. Three core ideas emerge from these different conversations: resource stewardship, alignment of values with finances, and merging front pocket profitable investments with back pocket philanthropy funding. These ideas converge to comprise the one pocket approach to investing. And this was first defined in 2017 by Ross Baird in his book, The Innovation Blind Spot. One pocket investing is a shift from two pocket thinking, a pocket for profits and a pocket for charitable giving, to a one pocket mindset, investing for both profit and social good. Throughout American pre-industrial history, businesses generally operated out of a one-pocket mindset. Although such vocabulary did not exist at the time, businesses tended to be family-owned while wholly involved in and contained by individual communities. Profit was sought as a means of subsistence, limited by gold-backed banking systems and a general lack of infrastructural connectivity. This prevented real scalability up until the mid-19th century. Between 1850 and 1980, the world became a more interconnected place with more advanced communication and transportation systems. When paired with dramatic transformation in banking systems, this globalization created new avenues for economic growth. New profitability opportunities transformed the socioeconomic theory landscape. As sociology and economic study flourished in the late 20th century, Milton Friedman famously published Capitalism and Freedom, which shaped modern definitions of capitalism for the next half century and counting. A central tenet of his work, quoted, "There is one and only one social responsibility of business, to use its resources and engage in activities designed to increase its profits, so long as it stays within the rules of the game. which is to say, engages in open and free competition without deception or fraud. Friedman made his bold claim in response to a growing number of businessmen who argued that business is not concerned merely with profit, but also with promoting desirable social ends. The leaders of industry made claim that business had a social conscience and takes seriously its responsibility for providing employment, eliminating discrimination, avoiding pollution, and whatever else. To Friedman, this idea was the product of a reckless intellectual movement that put free society at risk. His alternative solution isolated social responsibility from business activities. And it established the practice of relying instead on moral individuals to pursue philanthropy through strictly charitable venues. While Friedman's approach has by now become so widely embraced that it feels like the way things have always been, his theory is relatively new. For centuries, up to that point, entire faith groups advocated for a socially responsible approach to business and money management. This pushback gained momentum in the 1980s during South African apartheid. A significant number of individuals and organizations pulled their investments from companies with South African operations, citing their values-based concerns. The 80s also saw the creation of funds like the Calvert Social Investment Fund, Balanced Portfolio, and the Parnassus Fund. They each used positive and negative screens to match the values of Methodists at the time. Issues like pollution and worker treatment were forefront in their minds. During the 1990s and 2000s, the idea of corporate social responsibility, or CSR, emerged in a response to highly publicized corruption cases like the Keating Five or the Enron scandals. As CSR became the universal standard for business management, its rise was further backed by developed strategy and research showing the long-term capital benefits of socially responsible practices. Along with and emerging out of CSR, environmental, social, and governance investing, or ESG, became an increasingly foundational approach to investing. This was due to a growing body of evidence pointed towards its greater ROI over preceding investment approaches. And out of ESG grew practices like impact investing, value-based investing, and concessionary funding, which leads us to One Pocket. One Pocket investing represents the natural evolution of what has been a long organic arc towards holistic economic participation. It takes into consideration portfolio structure, and it also includes the complex and unique processes that surround investing. One Pocket is a holistic mindset, more than just a strategy. It's an accessible way of thinking. Whether you just created your first digital wallet or you manage the investments of a Fortune 500 company, the potential impact of embracing a One Pocket approach is enormous. The total value of all publicly listed companies in the world is around $200 trillion. While the total value of all charitable endowments in the world equals just over $1.5 trillion. Only 5% of this valuation is actually dispersed into charitable activities. If that disparity continues, a two-pocket mindset will prevent us from being able to solve or even mediate the humanitarian crises of our era. But if even a fraction of the world's companies and individuals adopt a one-pocket mindset, we truly could begin to make meaningful and sustainable changes in communities throughout the world. The key is understanding that One Pocket isn't just an approach to investments. It's a way of outwardly expressing our deeply held value systems. We must move beyond a limited view of money as just a tool. Instead, we must move towards leveraging money as an expression of our core identity. This is what the One Pocket mindset is all about. To date, a significant portion of the conversation around alternative approaches to investing uses terms like impact investing, along with socially responsible investing, value-based investing, and a handful of additional terms. These phrases have been more widely adopted into the investing lexicon than One Pocket mindset. So it's worth asking, what is the value in making a distinction? We argue that thinking of investments merely in fiscal terms doesn't capture the true depth and breadth of resource stewardship. The existing vocabulary limits what's possible. We too quickly rely upon the conceptual framework proposed by Friedman. Separating investments from impact investing implies that it's possible to invest without having impact. But on the contrary, all investments have impact. A One Pocket mindset captures this reality by acknowledging the unavoidable consequences of our approach to resource stewardship. It's not that impact investing or socially responsible investing are bad or in helpful terms, but they reflect only a small facet of reality. In truth, we need a more holistic understanding of our economies that grasps the interconnected nature of our efforts. A One Pocket mindset allows us to do just that. Many investors are familiar with the values-based arguments for socially responsible investing, but often the financial opportunities present in impact investing come as a surprise. A Cambridge Associates report showed that impact investment funds garnered above average returns in developed markets and significantly higher returns in developing markets. The report emphasized that a thoughtful approach to creating an impact portfolio is key in determining investment success. The one-pocket mindset elevates the portfolio construction approach to be just as important as the actual portfolio and lends itself to creating significant social and financial value. Beyond financial returns, a growing number of individuals consider social responsibility an important priority. 69% of adults aged 25 to 37 value the social return of their investments more than the financial returns. That trend will continue to grow as an awareness of complex effects of our investments continue to shape norms and younger generations develop an ever stronger bent towards community and social responsibility. A one-pocket mindset offers a way of approaching economic engagement that doesn't require people to compromise their values to achieve their target returns or vice versa. More importantly, a one-pocket mindset actively cultivates a total engagement in values-driven work. For organizations, One Pocket offers a way to integrate brand identity and values with social and fiscal responsibility. The same growing awareness that shapes individual investments extends to a growing awareness of the complex impact of business and organizational activities. Embracing the one-pocket mindset can allow companies to align all of their activities, social, economic, or otherwise, along a core set of values. Not only can this have a positive impact on brand image, but it can also have real positive impact on company value. A key factor in value growth stems from the fact that One Pocket expands the definition of who organizational stakeholders are. A business cannot survive without productive employees, a functional economy, a healthy environment, a stable government, and a host of other entities. Likewise, these same entities benefit from strong businesses. A one-pocket mindset allows us to view this as a clear stakeholder relationship that further integrates the context of our economic activities into our value-based decisions. At some point, the one-pocket concept must become a plan. Otherwise, we're left with just a dream of what could be. Fortunately, innovative thinkers in finance are pioneering one-pocket strategies that are already creating real change. And these strategies start with defining values. If you want your resource management to align with your values, you have to understand what your values are in a specific and honest way. In addition to a values audit, existing investments and business activities need to be audited as well. Ask yourselves, does the impact move the needle towards your vision? While the exact process that follows is completely unique to every individual or organization, the same mindset of curiosity and questioning is just as important. As with auditing your values, expect to discover a complex and nuanced picture of your investment impact. The process of answering difficult values questions begins with outlining your visionary and financial goals. How aggressive or conservative those goals are will guide the specific diversification of your one-pocket portfolio. At the same time, creating benchmarks for your vision is important, even if you know exactly what the values guiding that vision are. As with any investment, performance is measured by finding the difference between the goals you set and the actual performance of your portfolio. In the one-pocket approach, this includes not only financial return benchmarks, but also social and environmental impact benchmarks. While a financial return on investment is a pretty straightforward goal to set, measuring social impact can be a more challenging one and often requires a bit of creativity. You may need to measure a whole set of metrics. Checking both those complex social metrics and financial ROI consistently will give you a clear picture of how your investments are driving your vision. While the one-pocket mindset is primarily referenced within the context of investment, it's more than an investment approach. As a mindset, it guides the whole picture of how resources should be stewarded, including time, access, and space. Folks who embrace a one-pocket mindset soon manage all of their resources at their disposal in much more intentional ways. What that looks like for you or your organization will be completely unique to your vision. And yet it's important to ask the same questions that guided your investment audit of your other resources. The question that One Pocket asks can be a difficult one. It isn't, are your resources invested well? Or even, how are you making a difference with what you've been given? Instead, the question is, are your values important enough for you to align what you have and what you do in their service? Our answers to that question will come to define not just us, but the trajectory of global change for generations to come.
Pulling from One Pocket is more than just an investment strategy. This driving and defining kingdom mindset guides the whole picture of how every resource entrusted to us should be stewarded including time, access, and space. In 1 Timothy, we read, "Command those who are rich in this present world not to be arrogant, nor to put their hope in wealth, which is so uncertain, but to put their hope in God, who richly provides us with everything for our enjoyment. Command them to do good, to be rich in good deeds, and to be generous and willing to share. In this way, they will lay up treasure for themselves as a firm foundation for the coming age, so that they may take hold of the life that is truly life." Faith-driven investors who pull from one pocket take a holistic approach to life and work in more intentional and fulfilling ways. What that looks like for you or your organization will be completely unique to your vision and that which God has entrusted you with. And yet, the way we invest, give, and spend will all be a reflection of our love for God and for people, because it all comes from the same source. So the question I leave you with today is the same as what we heard from Bryce. Are your values important enough for you to align what you have and do with your investments towards a greater goal? Spend some time in your group talking about this session and how it relates to the journey you're on. Open yourselves up to learning from one another. Be honest with each other. What you get out of this time together will only be as enriching and life-giving as what you put into it. We'll see you next time.
Faith-Driven Investor is a discipleship ministry from Faith-Driven Movements, a non-profit corporation whose mission is to inspire and mobilize people to use their time, talent, and resources to impact the world around them. The materials are for informational purposes only. All investing carries risk, so be sure to consult an advisor before making any investment decisions. Hosts and guests may maintain positions in the companies and securities discussed. For all other questions, please visit faithdriveninvestor.org.